right, good morning and aloha. Whew. I just got to say, I got a little bit chicken skin because I never had that kind of escort to a stage before. So thank you very much. And thank you very much for your warm welcome. I just got to say it's an honor and a privilege to be here at the dais at your convention. For those of you guys that don't know, our two unions may not have always seen eye to eye. And many times our two unions may have been at odds at each other, competing to organize workers in the same sector. But you know what? Sometimes we can learn. Sometimes we know that we can dig deep, tap into the roots that are so important to who we are, and make sure that we put ourselves above our individual egos, the individual reputations of our individual unions, because as working people, if we don't stick together, then what else do we have? If hotel workers in my union, in Local 5, do not stand in support of hotel workers in ILWU, then what does the future of tourism look like? The future of tourism, the future of our communities will continue to look what they look like now. With every single one of my close friends from Honoka'a now live in Oregon and Washington and Arizona and Nevada. More of our families being separated. Our families not being able to provide the basic necessities for themselves and their families. And workers not having the ability to stand up and exercise our fundamental rights. And not just that, workers not being able to stand hand in hand with the community, because the work that we do as sisters and brothers and union siblings is not just about making our union strong. It's about making our community strong, because that's where we come from. That's what we're about. And I am proud to say that, man, I got even more chicken skin when I saw Brother Takamine up here, because I grew up in Haina. My dad walked to work 50 yards down the street from a home that was provided by the sugar plantation to go to work every day at Hamakua Sugar. I remember, I may have only been 12, I think, but on September 30th, right, Dwight? September 30th, 1994? The last harvest, Hamakua Sugar. We all came down from the school. We went all down to the main street in Honoka'a, and we watched. And people cried and wept, and I don't quite remember all the emotions that I felt, but I remember when my dad got laid off because sugar closed. But more importantly, I remember what it felt like to go to the Union Hall every weekend to celebrate birthday parties and weddings and other kinds of celebrations. I remembered the good times I had with my dad every weekend when I got to go to the beach with him. Down on Naiho'omalu Bay or whatever. Go dive for taco, do this, do that. And I remember being on the picket line, and I remember those orange and black signs for Takamine. I think you, right, Dwight, had the first slogan, for the people, for the community and for the people. But I mention that because all of those things I was able to enjoy is because of this union, because of the ILWU. And we've come a long way, and I will say that in my lifetime, the fact that our two unions could have pulled off what we pulled off after years of division and 3 years of hard work, Chris, and thank you to Chris West and his team for his leadership, to rise above the politics and figure out, you know what? That's right. It takes real leadership. It takes real leadership for people to step up and see there is something much greater at stake than what's in it for me. And that's what you all got when you elected Chris West. So thank you for that. Thank you for electing Chris and his team to lead ILWU. But I mention all of that because I was able to experience all those things because I came from a strong ILWU family. And I tell my members every day, I love my union. I love Local 5. And my wife often gives me a lot of flack saying, well, the union is your first love, right? So when are we going to see you again? What about the kids? All of those things, all of those sacrifices that you all make as union delegates, union leaders, as shop stewards, as delegates, as officers of your unions and your division and your units, you guys all know what that sacrifice is like. You all know what it's like to put in the countless hours to do the business of the union so that we have the power to work together, to fight for this community and the people of Hawaii. You know that. But it's the same sacrifice that every single one of our members does every single day when they punch in at work. And if we give our bosses everything we got, then why is it that they're not stepping up and give everything that we deserve and that we fought for as well? And I thank you for standing up and doing something so incredibly important that our members on Tuesday could feel what the power of working people looks like when we come together. And I will tell you this, Hilton felt it as well on Tuesday. We did bargaining last night at the Hilton Hawaiian Village. And I thank you guys for accommodating us and moving your convention here so that you wouldn't risk crossing a picket line, because I'll tell you this, we did a 3-day strike and it's likely we may have to be prepared to do more. And the Hilton Hawaiian Village is the most profitable Hilton in the world. And the Hilton Waikoloa is probably the second most profitable Hilton in the world. And guess who represents workers at the Hilton Waikoloa? Where's the Hawaii Island Division? There you guys are. So when your contract is up, our contract's up, this is something we've learned, and this is something that I am excited about with the leadership of Chris and his team, is that I think our future is brighter than ever. We as a union, as working people, are dealing with the largest, biggest corporations out there, the nastiest, the greediest of them all. And if we don't figure out how we stick together, then they're going to do what they do best, which is divide us. Pit worker against worker. Make us beg the shit out of them when we should be having them come to our knees, come to our feet and say, you know what, thank you. Thank you for making our companies profitable. Thank you for making our investors profitable. Thank you for the $100 billion that the hotel industry profited in 2020. Thank you, workers. Thank you, people of Hawaii, for allowing us to use your beaches, use your natural resources. Do we get any of that? We believe in common expirations. We believe in standing together as a union, and that is what I am excited about. So we know you guys stood with us. We know that as you guys continue your bargaining in your hotels to achieve the best wages ever, make sure that you have respect on the job, that our members, that Local 5 members are going to do whatever we can to support you as well. I just wanted to say, and many of you guys might know my predecessor, Eric Gill, and he's an inspirational leader. But he's also known for his fiery and sometimes lengthy speeches, and sometimes I try to channel Eric, but one of the things I try not to channel is, I don't want to be too wordy or too long, but it's a great honor to be here. I can't remember, I don't know, Chris, you got to tell me the last time a Local 5 leader addressed delegates of the ILWU. Probably never. And you know what? It was an honor to have Chris represent the ILWU at our Local 5 convention on August 2nd. Because that was probably the first time that we had an ILWU leader address the leaders of our union too. So on behalf of our members, really on behalf of our members throughout the state, not just in hotels, like you all, you represent workers in other industries, in healthcare and agriculture and others, we're excited about what our future could look like. And the only commitment that I can make is that what you see here today is something that we want to do more of, because there is too much at stake for us working people. I remember growing up in Honoka'a at a time where, you know that home that we lived in Haina? It wasn't because the plantation provided it. It's because the ILW fought for it. We lived in a community where there was a real sense of community. We could go to the 76 gas station and we could charge the gas bill to our family name. And the Yamadas would bill the Watanabes or the Takaminis at the end of the month. We would go to Kaneshiro store and we would do the same. And we could spend weekends at the ILWU Hall, enjoy our time with our families, have a future, work hard, bust our ass, hohana in the fields, provide for our kids so that our kids could have a brighter future. And none of that has changed. None of that has changed. And I will tell you this, that we are a proud union. Local 5, we are a proud militant organization. We're not scared to fight, take on these big hotel corporations, and we're going to fight them. We're going to take on Hilton, I guarantee that. But we learned a lot of what we did from all of you. And I started by saying that, you know, the value that we have, the roots that we have are important. And they're important to me. And my roots are in the ILWU because my grandfather got involved in the ILWU at Hamakua Sugar because his stepfather, not even his real dad, his stepdad, who stepped up to take care of him and his sisters and his family, got hurt digging the irrigation ditches on the Hamakua coast. And that's why he got involved, was to make sure that he had the backing of his coworkers and everybody else, so that what happened to his dad wouldn't happen to him or to my dad who worked at Hamakua Sugar or to me or my kids. And that's what community is about. That's what family is about. And that sense of community and family is something that we've got to commit to as union sisters and brothers and siblings. So I thank you. I thank you, Chris. These last 3 years have been amazing. We're looking forward to another 3 fantastic years where we can figure out how do we really work together. But more importantly, how we stand together so that the rest of the community can see that if 2 unions who may have been viewed as rivals for decades can come together, that there's nothing that we can't overcome as a community here in Hawaii as well. So thank you, ILW. Thank you for doing what you're doing, and aloha.